welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's Caden Formaster here and Mark Musgrave,
the voice you know.
We welcome you into the show, and we're getting things started right away with a guest in studio as well. So that's always an exciting thing to do, Mark.
Absolutely.
But, today's one of those days as well. We got to welcome in John Horton. John, welcome to the show. Oh, let me get your mic on. That'll help you. How about,
he does that to me all the time.
I do it for him. I do it more on purpose, though. I shut his mic off because I'm like, I don't want him to be part of the show.
Yeah.
John, stoked to be here.
Yeah. John is the head pro out at Copper Rock Golf Course out there in Hurricane, Utah. And, we're excited to have him because there are some amazing things going on out at Copper Rock. We'll talk about next week in just a couple of minutes. But, John, tell us, I've been watching your guys' social media account, and you guys have a competition out there. It's called Beat the Pro. And you being the pro, Tell me a little bit about that promotion going on out there.
I love it. Yeah, it was a really cool idea from our marketing guy. I don't want to put my ego out there. I was like, it wasn't my idea. No, it's a lot of fun. It is. It's literally what it is. We're showcasing the new tee boxes that we just built out there. So we lengthened the golf course to make it a little bit more difficult, and just to get the vibes going and the fun things about that. We just wanted to do this Beat the Pro to get people out there to try the tees. So what I do each week is I play from the furthest back tees, which is our copper color, and then I'll play from just a random forward tee just to make it so anybody can kind of compete in it. But yeah, I just go out there, shoot a score, use with all the rules, no gimmies, no fluff, my lies. It's just straight up. We just ask everybody else to do that, and they come out, try to beat my score, and if they do, we give away a bunch of awesome stuff.
So is this a time that they come out and do it? Is it just that one hole, or how do they do that?
Yeah, so every other week I play one hole. So I started on hole 1.
Okay.
I'm on hole 3 now, so it's been a couple weeks. Every other week we're going to release a video of me playing the hole, and then we basically have 2 weeks for somebody to come out and just try. There's no sign up, nothing. I mean, you just come out, just say, hey, I'm here to beat the pro or try.
Okay.
And if you do, you're going to get some awesome prizes.
Now, when they say that, do they have to say that when they check in?
Yeah, that helps us know that.
Does somebody go out there to verify, or is it on the honor system?
Love it. So there's an honor system. However, we do require that you have at least one other person with you.
Sure.
To witness it. So, your buddy or whoever it might be, and to film it.
Yeah,
we encourage it. We don't say you have to, but we encourage it, filming and pictures and stuff, because what we want to do is we want to post it on social media.
And those have been really good, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's been fun. Oh, yeah. And I've got my butt kicked many times.
Now, have you really? Now, number 3.
That's not a bad thing.
With the new tee box do you have a new tee box at number 3?
Yeah, we do.
Can you drive the green with the new tee box?
No.
Because on some of those tees, that's a drivable
par 3 or par 4.
Par 4. That's a drivable par 4.
Yeah, it is. And, we needed to eliminate some of that because it was getting a little crowded. It's bunched up, drivable par 4 into a par 3, into it on into par 5. So there's some, a couple of different reasons why we wanted to lengthen it. But yeah, we made that. I mean, if you're hitting the ball 380 yards, I guess you could drive it. But I'm definitely not. So
yeah. And there's some guys sorry, Caden.
No,
there's some guys from that I play with that play the whites with me because I'm a legit white player.
Sure.
And I'm talking tee box color, Caden.
I got that.
Okay.
I figured that. I was not asking questions.
But there's some guys that I play with are not. They do hit the ball 290, 300 yards. And when you're playing from the white tees, that's definitely drivable.
Yeah, so, it is. Yeah,
fun hole though.
It's way fun, and it's designed that way. Obviously it was designed to be a fun short hole that risk reward. You try to drive the green. If not, you're going to end up in a hazard probably. But just to help pace of play, we lengthen a little bit, make it a little bit tougher. It's fun where we sit right now with the length of the golf course. It makes us, as far as our course rating goes and difficulty, the hardest in Southern Utah at the moment.
Oh wow!
So it's definitely a good challenge. So we just want people to come try it.
Now, we want to get into the Copper Rock Championship, but before we do, I do have a question for you personally, just because I want to know the answer to this question. I think some other people maybe also want to know. How does one become a golf pro?
Oh, that's an awesome question. Tons of people think I just sit and play golf all day. And I love my job. First of all, when I
Wait, that's not what you do?
I don't play golf all day.
Oh.
I don't play golf. I love my job because the day I got into the golf industry, I haven't worked a day in my life. So I'm sure
Yeah.
you can feel that way being,
Yeah.
radio heads and stuff. But to become a golf pro, it's as simple as, if you've got the desire and drive to want to work as in management. So I'm running a facility. I'm just a manager of a golf course ultimately, and look over employees, do HR stuff, things like that. But to get that title of a golf pro, you do have to be a good golfer. You got to go take a test. That's the first step. So to become a golf pro or to do what I do, you've got to go and take a player's ability test, they call it. So you got to go shoot a 75 or better twice in one day. Here in Utah, that's how they have it set up, at a certain golf course, whatever that is. So there's a challenge to that. But from there, it's just like a trade school. So if like you're wanting to become like an HVAC person or an electrician, you're going to go to a trade school.
Right.
And that's how the PGA is set up. So, once you go past that test, you got to go then to learn how to run a golf business, because it's different than just running a normal industry business, I guess. It's just a lot of nuances like handicapping and merchandising, things like that. So cart fleet management.
My son is actually looking into that, and I think he's actually started the process. So
awesome.
Hopefully he can get there.
Yep.
Because that's true. There's a lot more to it than just being a good golfer, right? I mean, you are managing the course itself, and yeah, you do have a pro shop in there as well. So you're kind of a retail manager. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot to everything that goes on in a golf course, right?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to find a lot of your golf pros even asking like, hey, are you getting out and playing? A lot of them, and it's kind of sad, are like, hey, I play golf once a week. So you got amateurs that are locals coming to the golf course to play golf more than the golf pro behind the desk a lot of the times. I love the game a ton, so I'm always practicing and playing. I always want to get my game better, and I think I'll do that forever. Just that's the fun of it. But that's just me. So I don't mind doing beat the pro stuff because it puts me on the line to try to shoot a good score.
So talk to us a little bit right now, because this is going to lead into the Copper Rock Championship that we're going to talk about that is happening next week. Talk to us a little bit about course condition right now, the shape of the course. I was out there a couple of weeks ago, and I think you were doing it to kind of strengthen the greens. They were a little slow. I actually had a downhill putt, and I'm like, how did that ball stop on that downhill? Because normally they don't. I mean, Copper Rock greens are normally quicker, faster, and I just could not get the ball to the hole that day. Were you guys growing the greens out to kind of get them healthy?
Yeah, don't worry, Mark. We'll get them sped back up.
Thank you
for you and for all the golfers. No, we were. It's been such a rough winter. We all know how crazy of a winter has been, and ultimately, as we're growing the grass in, we just need to get it as healthy as possible, especially for the event coming next week. And so that's definitely the prerogative. However, we will probably through the summer keep them a little bit slower than we normally have, only just because we just got to keep them healthy to get through the heat of the season.
Sure, absolutely.
But no, we definitely had them a lot slower than normal, and that we will moving forward. And only, again, like you had said, we just wanted to get all those areas of the greens that might be struggling completely healthy, back in shape. Now we can cut them and roll them a lot smaller, so that we can get those greens back to where the Epson girls will want them.
Yeah,
and us, right?
Yes, exactly. It cost me a stroke. It was on number one. It was on number one, and that's a big green, anyways.
Yeah, it is.
Number one is, and I had to go up and over. I was on the front part of the green, and it was set back a little bit on the back left, and I went up and over that little mound, and then it stopped, and I'm like, then I had like a 6-footer, that makes your butt pucker, and I missed it. Yeah,
I did a ton that week too. It was a couple of weeks that we had them that way, and it was hard to recalibrate. It's hard to go from really fast to really slow.
Talk to us a little bit about the rest of the course. How is it looking out there? Fairways? Are there any trouble spots that the girls might come into?
At the moment, I would say, and straight up as a golf pro, yes, there's still some bruises in the golf course of this past winter. The golf course is as good of shape as it possibly can be. I mean, the maintenance crew has worked hourlessly, just a day in, day out, to just get this thing as good as it can be. Our roughs, are growing in. They're getting nicer, but there's still some patches, just some patchy areas. That's the biggest thing that I see. I think that's the question mark of like, okay, I wonder how they're going to play this, whether that's a lift, clean in place, just how exactly they'll do that. We'll find out. But other than that, that's the main focus of this year, is to get this golf course 100%. That way, by this time next year, it's flawless, and we're ready for it.
Does the LPGA, are they the ones that make that decision on those patchy areas are they the ones that make that ruling, or
Yeah.
is it local rules?
Yeah, no, they will for
They
their
do.
event.
For
They're
their
gonna they're
event.
gonna deem whatever they want to play. But it's lifting in place for those certain holes that might be struggling more than others, or the entire golf course.
Okay,
Who knows? Yeah, but if I'm hosting a tournament as the head pro, I'll make the rule however I want.
gotcha.
Yeah, yep.
So let's talk a little bit about the event coming up. I mean, this is how many years has this been now at Copper Rock? I believe 3.
This is
yeah?
our third
3.
year.
Mhm.
Yeah, third year of 8 really. So yeah, they
Yeah.
extended a 5-year contract last year. So
Right.
we've got it till 2028.
Amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So let's kind of walk through the week, what it's going to look like, and kind of what fans can expect as well, because we know play starts Thursday. Obviously, there's some other events before, kind of leading up to it, some more corporate stuff ahead of time, to where you can some of these business owners and whatnot are going to go out and meet some of the golfers and
Yeah.
and all that. But Thursday is the competition day, right?
Exactly. This thing thrives on sponsorship. So we're so grateful for all of our sponsors to show gratitude. The first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday Pro-Am days, we show them a great time, have all their guests come out. You guys will be there.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Mhm.
Appreciate you to enjoy it. Starting Thursday, exactly. That's when the spectators can come out. I do, and I can say this. I know that the Tuesday is the practice round day for all the girls,
Mhm.
and those that are in the Sky Mountain community are welcome to come out and watch. Just enjoy it. Sky Mountain's been really generous to us as far as the Tuesday prom. We have that prom at that golf course at
Mhm.
Sky Mountain, and leave our golf course open for those girls to play and practice. And so just as a thank you, just anybody that might be listening from Sky Mountain, please go over on Tuesday. It's an open golf course to watch those girls just practice, and you can kind of see how they do their practice rounds. It's not the normal play, but it's fun to watch because they'll drop a few balls here, there, hit a putt twice from a certain area. It's cool to watch. But yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just come out and watch. Get your tickets. We've changed it this year. We used to,
love it.
yeah. Just if there's time, just
Absolutely.
9 and 18. If anybody's ever played Copper Rock, it shares a big green with a bunker right in the middle. Those are the finishing holes. That whole entire area was built for this type of thing. They had the grandstands going up this year on 9 and 18, which we hadn't done in the past, trying to keep it closer to the clubhouse. But now we're moving everything to the center of the golf course. So if you've come out last year, it'll be totally different this year. So come out and see how we're doing it this year, because it's bigger and better. We have way more grandstands. It just keeps growing up and building out really nicely.
So Mark and I had the opportunity this morning to go out to Copper Rock, and we got toured around the facilities. And yeah, they're still building up the grandstands, but the bones were there. Some of them are just about done already. I mean,
Yeah.
we're working really well on getting those done in time, and we got the opportunity to go see what it's going to be like from the fans' perspective. And I got to say, it is so great what you guys are doing out there. I was there last year, and to see the difference from last year to this year's, again, it's just another level up. Last year was great. This year, it's just that next step further up. And just as a fan of the sport, I mean, it's going to be so much fun to see that. So kind of walk us through what it's going to be like for a fan experience there. What can they expect? What's going to be offered as far as maybe some of the amenities as far as seating goes, but what about food and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. Great question. So the rundown, basically, again, we're going to have everything centrally located near the driving range, 9 and 18, which all that sits. We're going to have the grandstands up. There is going to be VIP seating. So if you want to have the luxury of getting some drinks and sitting under like a tented cover, copperrockchampionship.com, go on there, purchase your tickets. You can purchase them there that day. We'll navigate parking to where we're going to have everybody this year as far as spectators and volunteers, things like that. Again, near the 18th fairway is where that is. Food trucks are going to be out there for food, just because again we're in an area where it's not so accessible to the clubhouse that we have right now. That will be open. Our cafe will be open at the clubhouse to serve a wide variety of menu items. So we definitely want spectators to come out and come to the clubhouse too. It's it's only 2 holes away from where the central location is. But yeah, there'll be normal stadium seating. So if you come out and just do a normal day seat, you can go out there and just walk the entire golf course. Or if you want to sit down in a nice bleacher type of seating, you can do that sitting right next to the 9 fairway. Again, they're all really close together. So yeah, you can stay centrally located and see a ton of action, or you can go walk the golf course and see the play from anywhere.
And one thing that I loved about it too was, even from the general admission, you can see about 4 holes being played. All you have to do is just rotate your body a little bit. You can watch is it the six par 3 6?
Par 3 7.
Par 3 number 7.
Number 8 even.
Yeah, and then you can see number 8 as well on the par 4, and then the 2 par and then
9 and 18.
9 and 18 coming up. And then you can see the
can
driving range as well.
And you can even see number 1 not too, right behind the driving range, isn't too far away. So really you have access to some of that area as well within a short walking distance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right there. So.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I got to just, if there's a moment to say this, most people don't, and like your question was super fair in the beginning, how do you become a golf pro, right? So those that might not be golfers or that might be an avid golfer, when you watch these girls, remind you, the best girl athletes of golfers that are out there, they're ready to go on to the LPGA, and that's what the step is going. I don't know if you know this or not, but their average, their average swing speed on tour for the LPGA and for them is about 95 miles an hour.
Yeah,
the average. So some go, some are a little bit faster, some a little bit slower, but the average male, and I'd say it's a pretty male driven sport, right?
Sure.
Driven sport, but your local 0 or I'd say single digit handicap player, amateur, is swinging at the same speed.
Yeah.
So when you're watching these girls play, it gives you perspective because most golfers that are listening to this or that are going to come and watch, that's how far they're hitting the ball, and sometimes being outdriven by them for sure. But it gives you perspective of like, wow, when they're shooting 7 under, well, they're doing it from all the same spots that I should be or I am.
Right.
So that's what I love watching. And especially what gets me excited is seeing like how they play like hole 12 or hole 11 and where they're hitting the ball and like, okay, I'm doing the same thing, but they're just so much better than I am as far as their approach and putts.
Yeah, that's what being part of the Pro-Am the last couple of years, that's one thing that I've noticed that they're so good at is their short game.
Oh,
their chips and their putts, they do a phenomenal job at that. You can tell they take hours a day practicing that stuff.
They do. It's awesome. Awesome to see them play.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We will give away, you know what? I'm going to step out on a limb here.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
This is either good or really, really bad.
You can text our text line today between 4 and 5:45. So now and for about another hour and a half. If you text our text line 435-990-9950 and you text us the word copper for Copper Rock, just copper, COPPER, we'll do a little drawing for a VIP tag. And just to give you an idea, that's a $275 value. Okay?
Yeah.
And then also we will get some other winners, and we'll do some single day general admission tickets.
Very good.
As well that we'll give away. So another hour and a half. Text us on the text line 435-990-9950, and we will do a little random drawing at the end of our show. One of you will walk away with a VIP pass, and you'll be able to get into the Zions Bank VIP tent.
Oh, and can we talk about the Dilly Dilly Club?
And the Dilly Dilly Club is also.
For sure.
Now, if you're a little rowdy, you like that waste management feel, right?
Yep.
Waste management down in Scottsdale, Arizona. If you like that feel, you're going to love, first off, you're going to love the Copper Rock Championship. But then the Dilly Dilly Club takes it to the next level. And tell us a little bit about that, John.
Oh, the Dilly Dilly Club. So that's the newest structure that we built, and that's overlooking the par 3, number 7 that you're talking about. Again, all in the same area, all these holes. And those guys, they are just the rowdy bunch. I mean, we want this thing to be loud and fun, and the girls know every year when they come here that this is a fun tournament. And then we got music going. We got Mark emceeing this thing. I mean, they know what to expect, but they don't know. They have no idea about what we just built for all these guys to come to the Dilly Dilly Club. And so, those tickets are for sale too. You can go in there and overlook. And again, that's kind of like the VIP experience. So that's another option. And, but you're overlooking basically the par 3, and it's 360. So again, you could see a ton of different holes too, but that one particularly, we just want people to get all sorts of crazy like the very famous hole at Waste Management. Just for throw beer cans at everybody. I don't want to say
we don't want to
beer
do
cans
that.
at cups at girls.
What is that, hole 16? It's not going to be a hole 16 or whatever.
But we love the idea of that.
Yes.
We want to give our little version of it and see what happens from years to come on it. But that one, that'll be a lot of fun.
That will be fun. That was another one of those spots that we were able to see today, and it is going to be fun because you are right there on the green, and then you even get to kind of sneak over and you can watch them tee off on the next hole as well. So it's all right there in that same spot. spot, and that's one of those things that I really like is that you get so much action from one tiny little spot at the golf course. Everything just happens right there. It's great.
Yep.
And one thing I love as I'll be based at the number 1 tee box for every morning is just the difference, just how pleasing that is to the eye. Where when they move the holes around a little bit, and number 12 was actually number 1 in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12 was. Well, we're going back to number 1 is number 1, number 2 is number 2, so on and so forth. Number 1 tee shot is just a gorgeous shot. You can see the ball land. You can watch it bounce as a spectator. I cannot wait to see those first tee shots.
Yeah, it is a gorgeous starting hole. It really is, and it's a little elevated.
Yes.
So again, a little elevated tee, so the ball flies kind of downhill a little bit. It's fun, but from that too, you're watching the girls on the range as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up close. So that's a fun area. Anybody's welcome to go to hole number 1 and hole number 10. That stadium seating's for anybody. And again, we have stadium seating on 1 and 10. Mm-hmm. And so 10 also has a little bit of an elevated tee shot, which is a really neat looking hole. So yeah, that's more grandstands that we didn't even mention. But yeah, those are again very close and obviously super stoked to have you again.
Yeah.
And seeing that. We love it.
This is It's one of my favorite weeks of the year for sure. So since they did reconfigure and go back to the normal holes, do the girls know that as they come in, or do they find that out when they get there?
Yeah. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't really know. I'm sure that they've probably been told. I'm sure that they probably have had some communication between the Epson coordinators. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of girls are surprised too. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be honest, but to answer that question, I don't know.
Because I don't know, like, what hole was number 1? If number 12 was number 1, what hole was number 1? What was it like?
Oh man, now you got to get me thinking. This
like
was the hardest part about last year. Yeah, let's see. So hole 12. So that would have been hole number. I think that would have been hole number 7 for them. 7. So hole number 1 would have been 7 or 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, it was so confusing.
It is very. I know.
That was my job, was just trying to memorize it. I've already forgotten it.
Is that the Epson Tour hole or just normal hole number 13?
Yeah.
So,
many conversations.
Especially for someone like me, I've never played Copper Rock, so Monday's going to be my first time playing it, which I'm actually super excited about. By the way.
Well, finally.
I know. I've been saying the same thing. We've talked about going out there, we just have never done it. But one of these days,
we're going to get Caden some lessons too. By the way,
we'll get
there.
Got it. We'll get there.
Lessons.
I'm a growing golfer. I'm new to the game, and it's a lot of fun. But anyway, so for me, like, I was out there at the championship last year. So to me, hole 18 is hole 18, but it's actually hole 11.
11.
You know, so that's going to be different for some of us that have only actually been there to watch it last year. It is going to be a little bit different, but that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, better. I mean, like I said, that whole 18 and 9 structure. I mean, the golf course was designed to host an event like this, and so it was meant to. I mean, all the things that are happening now with the grandstands, it's ultimately what this golf course was supposed to showcase at some point, and now it is. So I think Copper Rock, you're seeing it in its glory and its fullest. Really,
yeah, I do. Yeah. I believe so too.
Yeah.
So this goes on April 24th through the 29th. Now, granted, some of those days are corporate days and practice rounds for the players. The tournament starts really next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We'll see who makes the cut. Mm-hmm. They will make the cut after Friday's play, and then championship Saturday. It is going to be just a phenomenal time. John, where can they go to get tickets?
CopperRockChampionship.com. It's got all the ticket options there.
Yeah.
Like I said, online, make it easy, or just come that day. Just drive up to Copper Rock and come pick up the tickets at the booth that'll be there set up.
Love it. John, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys.
You bet.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast, though. We're super excited for it. All right, let's take a break, and more when we come back here on From the Bleachers, so stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
There's not a bad seat in the house.
Ooh, this is nice!
It's From the Bleachers with Mark Musgrave and Caden Formaster.
Just a bit outside.
You're killing me, Smalls.
On the Fan Sports Network.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers as we broadcast live here from the Findlay Hyundai studio. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
It was great having John in here to be able to talk a little bit about Copper Rock Championship, and get to know one of our local golf courses a little bit better, and just a local events a little bit better.
Yeah, it's phenomenal out there. If you've ever golfed Copper Rock, you know what I'm talking about. It's always in good condition. It's got some fun holes to it. You know, you got Molly's Nipple in the background.
Any chance that you can get to say Molly's Nipple.
I know. It is a lot of fun, and again, one of my most favorite weeks of the year. Next week, it's going to be out at Copper Rock pretty much all week. The tournament starts on Thursday. Festivities start on Monday, but the tournament starts on Thursday. Thursday and Friday, the girls will play their hearts out, try to make the cut, and then Saturday is Championship Saturday. And from what I'm seeing on the weather, we are looking forward to a phenomenal weather. I know that on Thursday it's supposed to be like 85, 86, and then 90 maybe on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, we're out there in Hurricane. There could be a little breeze, but...
Might be a little breezy, but it's
so
never,
much different.
It's never bad.
Yeah, last year when we were out there, that Thursday, Friday, it was so cold. Cold.
Well, Thursday wasn't horrible. It was cool, but it wasn't cold. Friday was the day, if you remember right, where you were like, because you told me, you're like, don't even come out. so I ditched Friday. I was like, I don't want to put myself through that if I don't have to.
Yeah, it was.
So I didn't.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
But then Championship Saturday was a beautiful day.
But Saturday was okay. Thursday was Friday was horrible. Saturday was great.
Yeah.
And then this year, it does look like it's supposed to be really good.
These
Take
ladies
the wins when you can.
These ladies deserve it because the weather they had to play in last year was just not fair.
No, it was not. It was not very telling of our Southern Utah weather when it was that cold. So, yeah, if you have the chance, you might as well take it. Let's see if people can, head on out there and have a fun time. Now, with that said, just a reminder, we're going to be giving away some opportunities to go out to the Copper Rock Championship.
Yeah.
So text again, Copper, 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 to our text line 435-990-9950. We have general admission and we have a VIP available. We will randomly select winners for those. We've already got a bunch of people that have texted in, so
Nice.
grateful for all those guys that have texted in already. Continue to text in. We've got a bunch of you in now, and we want a few more. We want a few more.
That VIP pass is valued at $275. That's a 3-day pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is phenomenal. You'll have one of the best seats out there. We were out there. We were out there.
We were out there today. We know exactly what it's like out there, and because yes, it is on that green. And if you've never been to Copper Rock, you probably don't quite know what it looks like. It's kind of odd, to be honest. You don't see this everywhere where there's one single green with 2 pins in it.
Right.
But that is the case, and yes, there's a sand trap in the middle, kind of somewhat separating them. But because of that, you're going to be able to watch people approaching from 2 different sides.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting people wrapping up their rounds. Some people are just finishing the front 9. It's great. It's so much fun. And again, there's going to be 2 or 3 food trucks available every single day, and parking is pretty close as well. We parking is just right off the side of the 18th fairway. So, yeah, there's lots of great options for people who want to come out and watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's plan on it.
Let's plan on it. Let's get into region. Baseball, softball.
Region 10 baseball last night. My goodness, what a great night it was. Now, Pineview at Hurricane. Now, we're not going to mess up these scores.
Yeah.
This is the baseball score, not the softball score. Pineview at Hurricane. Hurricane gets the win, 16-12.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It was something. That's
Wow.
a lot of runs on the board right there.
That's a softball score, but that was the baseball score where, again, Hurricane gets the win, 16-12. I don't have any stats for that game. Couldn't find them on Game Changer. Couldn't find them. I just couldn't find them. So
I know. I was just getting ready to look on Des News to see if they had anything, and all I have is kind of the inning by inning breakdown.
yeah, just kind of.
I have a little bit here, so let me go over what I do have.
Yeah, what do you have?
So first off, let's set the scene here. Here's how it went down. It was tied up after the first inning, 2 apiece. Pineview is then on top 5-4 after the second inning, scoreless in the third. The fourth inning, Pineview leads off 2 runs. Again, extend the lead. Then Hurricane goes off 9 runs in the fourth. In the fifth, Pineview comes back in it with 5, Hurricane with 1, and then in the sixth, they walk it off. Yeah, with 3. They get 3
Wow.
in the sixth. So
No kidding.
So they end up winning it in the sixth. And, yeah, it's great. So looking at it here, they had Landon Stewart with 2 RBIs and a home run, Grant Schultzen with 2 RBIs, and Asher Christensen with a couple RBIs as well. But Andrew Shakespeare, he had a double for an RBI. Nash Schroeder, 3 RBIs.
Yeah.
You'll take that anytime you can get it. So it was a really good game overall. Casey Robinson, winning pitcher with 5 strikeouts. Kyson Millen was the other pitcher for Pineview. He had pitched on Friday, so he had that Friday, Tuesday quick turnaround. But good game out there in Hurricane.
Another really good game. All 3 games were really good matchups last night, and we kind of talked about that where we thought that this week's matchups were quite fair across the board.
Yeah, you had teams that were right next to each other in the standings.
Yeah. Another good game was over at Dixie High School, Crimson at Dixie. It took extra innings for the Mustangs to finally put the Flyers away. They won 2-0. Kaysen Bell went 7 innings for the Flyers, pitched, 0 runs. And Javen Ross started for the Mustangs. He pitched a phenomenal game as well. And again, the relievers came in, and Braxton Yates actually took the loss for the Flyers in extra innings. Aaron Morris got the win for the Mustangs, also in extra innings again. But I don't want to just shove aside what these starters did. Kaysen Bell and Javen Ross just pitched their hearts out, and they both had to walk away with a no decision.
Yeah, that's crazy, but it's good. I like having those kinds of matchups where you don't know who's really going to go out on top. We had one of those last year. We've talked about it a few times. A game between Desert Hills and Crimson Cliffs that went into the 11th inning, where it was just a battle back and forth, and no runs were coming in. It wasn't like it was a run and then you match it with a run. It was nothing and nothing, and nothing and nothing. It's a battle sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it's a battle. So, yeah, Dixie was left with no hits.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't score. They didn't have a single hit and a couple of errors. So, you just don't see that from Dixie either. But, again, from Crimson, you also don't see them only putting 2 runs on the board.
They've got such good
That's
pitch.
crazy.
Again, both teams really, but speaking mostly of Crimson right now, they're just such a complete team. They've got great pitching. They've got great hitting. They've got really good defense. So, they're going to be tough to beat, no question about it. The Warriors got to them once in a 1-0 game, and they returned the favor and got 1-0 against the Warriors. Those are those two teams' only region losses right now are to each other, the Warriors and the Mustangs.
Yeah.
So, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Flyers came out on Friday, go to Crimson, and get the split. It just wouldn't, because Dixie's that good as well.
No, and I somewhat expect that to happen, or at least to be a major possibility. I'm not going to say that that's my prediction, is that Dixie's going to go and get a win, but I'm not going to predict Crimson's going to get a win.
Right.
I'm not set in stone on either of those teams, because it is a very good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And you could really say from day to day, one of those teams could win and the other one could win. I mean, it doesn't, to me, it's a 50-50 split. So, Snow Canyon gets the win over Desert Hills as well, 6-2.
Yeah. Tank Kelly, Landon Musgrave both started for their respected teams. Kelly actually went into the 6th inning, I believe, and pitched a great game. Musgrave also pitched great 4 innings, only gave up 4 hits on and 1 run, and it was 1-1 at the end of 4. Warriors and Thunder were all tied up. But again, Warriors just battle, get that 6-2 win. Titan Tate takes the loss for the Thunder, and Tank Kelly gets the win for the Warriors. Multiple hits for each team. Jace Fillmore and Landon Musgrave both racked up multiple hits, 2 apiece. And Damon Ince and Ryder Harrison managed multiple hits for Snow Canyon. It was really an even game. It really was. The Thunder had their chances. The Warriors had their chances too. They took advantage of their chances just a little bit better than the Thunder did, and that was the difference of the game, 6-2.
Yeah, that fifth, 6th inning, Snow Canyon really just took advantage of what they could, and they got the win. It's as simple as that. You got to take advantage of the opportunities given, and they did, and it was just enough. It was just enough. So, credit to Desert Hills for fighting in that one, because Snow Canyon is the better team. Let's just call it as it is. Snow Canyon is probably the better team there. But Desert Hills kept it close, and that's what we hoped for them, right? Was keep it close, and you might actually even have a shot at this one.
Well, and that's the thing too, is even going into this week, I really didn't know what Desert Hills was. I didn't know how good they were. I didn't know how bad they were. I really didn't know, and I've seen every single game other than 2 last week when they went up north to play. they swept the two teams that they were supposed to sweep, in Cedar and Hurricane.
Right.
They sweep those and go 4-0. Crimson, to start the region play, beats them in the game number 1 at Crimson, a close game. I think it was 5-3 or 6-4, something like that. It was a close game.
Yeah.
Very similar to this game. Second game of that series, the Mustangs kind of blew the Thunder off the field a little bit. It was a big win for the Mustangs. So I wasn't sure now, I wasn't sure if the first team against the Mustangs was the real Thunder team or the second team that played the Mustangs was the real Thunder team. They played the Warriors really well last night. Let's see what they do on Friday, and see what kind of team they are. If they can keep it close, maybe sneak out a win over at Snow Canyon. Snow Canyon's good though. They can swing the bat. They've got good pitching as well. It wouldn't surprise me at all if, when it's all said and done, up at UVU, if it's not a rematch of last year. Crimson Cliffs versus Snow Canyon. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me at all either. And
I know Dixie has something to say about that, and Desert Hills might have something to say about it.
Absolutely.
And Bear River might have something to say about it. But it wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, not at all. Now, next week, or not next week, I should say this week on Friday, that is our game of the week, is Desert Hills and Snow Canyon at Snow Canyon. So that should be a good one as well.
Yeah.
So let's get softball.
Let's talk softball after the break.
Oh, is it break time?
Yeah, it's break time.
Oh my gosh.
We don't want to rush
on me.
We don't want to rush it, so let's go ahead and take a break, and we can give the girls the proper time they deserve.
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's a good plan. Good plan. All right, more coming up next. Stick around with us here on From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Just a reminder as well for everyone listening in that you still have a chance to sign up for the 3-on-3 battle on the blacktop. That's this weekend, so it's on the 21st. You got to make sure to get signed up now so you're ready to go for it. Again, that's happening at Nets on Fire. The proceeds are going to help a charity called Core Kids. So all of it's for a good cause. Now, this is anybody starting at 3rd grade through, you could be 80. I don't really care. As long as you feel like you're able to go out there and play good competitive basketball, there's age groups for everybody.
Even if you're in that age group of 67 years old, hey, those guys can still shoot, man. Just sit out there on the three-point line.
In the wing.
Yeah, just spot up and just shoot away.
Yeah, there you go. Why not?
I mean, I'm not even that age, and that's all I would do.
That's true.
I can't drive to the hoop anymore.
I used to be okay at it. I'm so slow now.
And my favorite
so
shot,
out of shape, man.
my favorite 3-point shot is the angle shot.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Not straight away and not the baseline. Although the baseline is my second favorite. I like that. I like that angle shot.
You know what's funny? So me, it's angle shot and then straight away. I don't like the baseline shot. I know it's technically the closer shot to the basket. Don't love it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's the whole not having a backboard back there just mentally throws me off sometimes.
Just not pleasing to the eye. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It gives me the yips.
I get it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring up, you said, hey, I just want to remind everybody about that. I thought you were going to bring up the power outage up in Enterprise.
Yeah. If you are from Enterprise or you know someone that's from Enterprise,
maybe you're heading home.
And if you're like me, it should be back by the time I go. There was a planned power outage. They've been talking about it for a couple weeks, and my wife, who didn't have to work today, she's up there and she's like, I was at home and the power goes out. So she's like, what do? I think, well, since the power's out and I can't do anything here at home right now, I might as well go to the grocery store and go to the pharmacy. And so she goes and leaves and gets in her car, and the grocery store's closed and the pharmacy's closed and the hardware store's closed and everything's closed because the power is out.
Small town USA, baby.
And it's just like, yeah, I mean, that does make sense in hindsight, right?
Yeah.
It's like hindsight, yeah, the power's out. But anyways, yeah, that's one of those things. Kind of funny.
Hey, softball last night. The boys weren't the only ones playing on the diamond. The girls were too. Big game up here at Thunder Field at Desert Hills High School. You had the 2 undefeated region teams, undefeated in region play. Snow Canyon, Desert Hills. Snow Canyon, the Lady Warriors walk away with an 11-9 win over the Lady Thunder. Big win for Snow Canyon.
Yes, they do. And that is really, it is a big win. And what's crazy about that is they kind of put it away a little early. I mean, they really did.
It was a big lead first.
Yeah, and the Thunder came back and made it a game. They got close, but wasn't quite close enough. Here's the thing, though. 14 hits to 5. That's a big difference.
Right.
Scoring 9 off of 5 hits, now that's impressive.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
If you're scoring 9 off of 5 hits, that's pretty good.
That's pretty efficient.
But 14 hits for the Warriors. So that's something that you're going to have to look at, and maybe you can try to adjust that and say, hey, they're just hitting us really well. And what are you going to do to fix that? And anyways, it's going to be different pitchers, though.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different ball game from game to game.
So Desert Hills will try to return the favor and get a win on Snow Canyon's home field. But congratulations to Lady Warriors. That's a big game. Another game, Pineview at Hurricane. Now, we told you the baseball score, and it was like a softball score. It was like 16-12. I think it was 16-12.
Something like that.
Well, this was a baseball score, 6-5. And the Lady Tigers get the win over Pineview at Hurricane. And the last one, it was at Crimson Cliffs. No, this was at Dixie.
Yeah, it was flip-flopped.
It was at Dixie.
It was flip-flopped.
And it was Crimson 11-1 over the Dixie Lady Flyers.
That's right. So a couple of tight games, one that kind of got out of hand a little bit, but overall, some good softball. So you take it and have some good games coming up on Friday as well.
I love that the weather, it was a little chilly last night. The wind was blowing a little bit. I was glad I was up in the booth, but Friday night should be nice. It should be a nice day to get out to the ballparks, to the high schools, and watch some baseball and or softball.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, some soccer scores as well from yesterday. So we had Cedar taking on Hurricane. They got the win 4-1. Snow Canyon was at Dixie, and Dixie won that one 3-2. Crimson Cliffs was at Pineview, and they won 5-1. So congrats to those schools for winning in soccer as well. We're getting to that point, too, where we have 2 weeks left of spring sports before we really start getting into playoffs and whatnot.
Nuts. That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Speaking of nuts.
Oh, no.
You wonder where this is going, huh?
100%.
Hey, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Okay.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups will now have a crunchy version. I told you I was talking nuts.
Is it like a Reese's Pieces
kind
of thing? And by the way, if you call it Reese's Pieces, you're wrong.
Oh, I don't say that.
Yeah, people do.
People
call it Reese's.
That's stupid.
Okay, and I have a debate on this. I'm sidetracking. We'll get to your thing.
Reese's, come on.
People call it Reese's, and I'm like, okay, take off the apostrophe S. What is that name?
It's Reese.
Who owns the cups? They're Reese's cups.
Yeah.
It's Reese's.
Hey, you don't have to
Reese's
talk me
Pieces.
into it. I'm with you.
Why are you calling it Reese's?
That's stupid.
Yeah, anytime someone calls them Reese's, and I know a lot of it's kind of a back east thing that people do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not saying, hey, my name's Caden. It's like Caden's out of,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
no, what? You totally changing the name.
Right.
Stop it. Anyways, to your thing.
Now, do you prefer in your peanut butter, do you prefer it, you like the creamy or do you like crunchy?
I'm a creamy guy.
I'm a creamy guy as well. So this really isn't going to affect me. Will I have one? Yeah, if I see one, I might try it. But it's a limited edition version, one that has crunchy peanut butter in it.
So it just has peanuts in it.
Yeah, it just has some crunched up nuts. So it'll be interesting. I'm definitely more of a creamy guy myself. In fact, I went home for lunch, and this is what I had for lunch.
Okay.
I grabbed the jar of peanut butter.
And a spoon?
And a spoon, along with a jar of Nutella.
Oh, so you double dipped?
I do double dip. I mean, I don't do it at the same time. I do peanut butter.
Peanut butter, eat it.
Yeah.
Nutella, eat it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I had for lunch today. Oh, and then I went to Maverick and had a parfait.
Oh, I like parfait. I like a good parfait. I will do that sometimes. That was not my lunch today. But sometimes I will go grab a big old jar of peanut butter and just sit on the couch with a spoon.
What does Anna say when you do that?
She doesn't care.
She doesn't. Okay. Macy doesn't care either.
She doesn't do it.
Macy usually grabs a spoon.
Yeah, she's
She'll
like,
join me.
She thinks it's a little weird, but like she doesn't care. And I'm like, hey, if you don't care, I'm gonna do it. And I've grown up doing it. I mean, that's just, when I was in college, I lived off of bread and peanut butter, not even peanut butter and jellies.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't afford jelly, so I just bread and peanut butter.
Yeah,
that's how I got by.
And hey, if you do find one of those crunchies, they want you to try them both, and then you can vote for your favorite at HersheyLand.com.
I'm still going just regular Reese's.
Me too. I'll tell you what, if you ever want to try a treat, this is what I grew up with. Reese's and Dr. Pepper. I don't know what it is in both of those products, but they bring out the taste in the other. I promise you, you try it, you will not regret it. It's like peanut butter and jelly.
So my wife just texted me. She's either listening or watching on YouTube. She says, a spoonful of peanut butter before bed is scientifically proven to help you sleep.
Oh, I'm doing it tonight then.
All right, peanut butter before bed.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Done.
Yeah. I'm all for the creamy though. I'll try the crunchy Reese's cups, but I'm definitely leaning towards just the original.
Hey, about 45 minutes left. Text to the text line 435-990-9950. Text the word copper at COPPER. Text the word copper, and we will put you into a random drawing to win a VIP pass valued about $275. Yowza. And also, too, some other winners will get some day passes.
Yeah.
For out there.
Yep, we have a lot of people already texting in,
Nice.
so keep on sending in those messages. If you haven't already, you have as good a chance as anybody else.
I promise you, you will not regret going out there. It is so much fun at the Copper Rock Championship, the Epson Tour Copper Rock Championship, seeing these ladies play, the atmosphere, the weather's going to be great. Molly's nipple will be in the background. What a
Every
beautiful,
time.
beautiful day.
Every time. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, hey, we're going to take a break coming up here in just a little bit for the top of the hour. When we come back, let's talk about something that happened today in the world of baseball.
Yes.
Something
stuff.
that happened during the Mets and Dodgers today.
Mad Max.
Mad Max got real mad. So stick around. That's going to be coming up next here on From the Bleachers and more. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Back at it here in the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's from the Bleachers. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
All right, Mark, let's get into it. There's some drama going on in the MLB today, and there's a conversation to be had with it as well, because I want to know your thoughts on where this whole thing stands in your mind, I guess. So the big news today, Scherzer, he is ejected for a foreign substance. Now, for our YouTube audience, we'll get that clip pulled up for you. But we're just going to kind of talk through it and see how we really feel about this one as we kind of take a look. Scherzer arguing with the umps. Now, here's the thing. They say he had a foreign substance, and it was probably rosin, right? Is what everyone's kind of assuming, because that's perfectly legal to have in your dugout. It's around. He must have just got some on him.
And you can see
what
him,
they're saying.
You can see him in this clip. He is definitely trying to describe what it is, how it got there. And he's very animated too.
Oh, and he's arguing it. He's like,
and the umpire's having no part of it. No.
And the
then
umpire
he
says
tosses
no,
him.
and he's like, "Oh, come on, that's can't say that word on the radio." But
Mad Max Scherzer.
And he's sitting there like, "What do you expect me to do? I didn't do anything." Now, I don't know if he did anything or not, but they're saying he did something.
Buck's like, "Come on, let's just go. We don't want you to get suspended. Say something that you regret later."
Yeah.
The Mets did go on and win that game too, by the way, 5-3 today against my beloved Dodgers.
So here's my question too. There's a conversation here, Mark. So let's dive into this a little bit.
Okay.
Scherzer gets caught with something sticky on his hands. That is against the rules. He's ejected. Okay, whatever. It happens. By the way, 10-game suspension tacked on top of that. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he's not going to be able to pitch for 10 games.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, they came out and they gave him a 10-game suspension. So
wow.
Now
that's the thing though with pitchers. It's really not a 10-game suspension.
It's like a 2-game.
It's like a 2. Yeah, exactly.
Because he's not going to be pitching over the next 3 games anyway.
Right. So I've always thought that was kind of, I don't know, a little empty.
Especially for a pitcher.
For a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's just you're not using him for a couple games.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, okay, so here's my question.
Yeah.
The other day in a Yankees game, there was a player that was caught with something sticky on his hands, and they're like, it's a little sticky. Just go wash your hands.
Was it a pitcher or
it was a pitcher?
It was a pitcher.
It was a pitcher. And you know how they check their hands, right? When they come back from being on the mound, they check their hands before going to the dugout in between innings. They checked his hand. It was sticky. They just told him to go wash it.
Maybe it was a booger.
Maybe. I don't know, but they had a little conference, and they were just like, just go wash it. Just go wash your hand.
Huh.
Now,
well, they must have known what it was.
They must have known what it was
about it.
But everyone is assuming that in that situation, that, again, is probably rosin, right?
Yeah.
But in this one, this is also what they're assuming it was.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I don't know
Scherzer
what the
gets
difference
ejected.
is.
Now, he is going to have a trial.
Yikes.
Yeah, not like anything crazy, but, just with
Wow.
they're going to look into it basically for Scherzer and look into it and be like, was it really as bad as they're making it seem?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Kidding.
Now, Padres fans are also really upset, or not upset, but more, I would say they were upset, and now they're joyful that Scherzer is getting suspended.
Well,
Not
if they're in
suspended,
Los
but
Angeles
ejected.
now, they're probably going down the street to play the Padres, and he will not be in the pitching rotation.
That is also true, yeah. But for them, they're saying it's karma. Do you know what happened?
Talk to me.
Because I'm not going to lie. I don't. I'm just seeing everybody saying it's karma. And I'm like, well, what did he do to the Padre fans? Do Padre fans...
Well, remember, Scherzer was with the Dodgers for a short stint, so they played each other quite a bit. I wonder if there's a story there.
Well, that's why I'm asking you if there was something that happened. And again, I just don't follow.
I don't remember it, but maybe when we're off air, we can research that a little bit. Or if you know what the backstory is there, give us a call at 435-990-9950, and you can help us out a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting that it's karma coming, that the Padre fans are calling out Max Scherzer. So, but here's the rule that went into place. This is following guidance from the commissioner's office that was put into effect June 21st of 2021. It's rules 3.01 and 6.02. I know that's, you guys will remember that for sure. And it will be enforced by umpires, and pitchers caught with foreign substances will face suspension. Clubs will not be able to fill the roster spot while the player is under suspension. So that's just a roster spot that they won't be able to fill, that they'll be empty. Again, being that it's a starting pitcher, not really a big deal. He'll miss 2 starts, and they'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Did it say a 10-game suspension or 10-day suspension?
10 games.
So 10 game. Okay.
Excuse me. 10-game suspension.
Yes. If it was 10-day, it would even be less empty, because there could be a couple of off days there that would even come into play. But if it says 10-game, but again, for a pitcher, I still think that's kind of an empty. It's not severe. That's not severe. That's just a little slap on the wrist.
No. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. No, yeah, 10-game is technically more than a 10-day, but it'd be like a 13-day suspension. So it's not bad. It's not bad. But this is where baseball's at. There's rules to try to uphold the integrity of the game like this. You're seeing the rules come out for the pace of play because they want fans to have good entertainment. But you're walking a fine line, right? Because, hey, if all pitchers could use foreign substance, then maybe the pitching duels would be better and fans would maybe enjoy that more.
No,
I don't know.
No.
But to me, the integrity of the game matters more than that does, right? And the same thing with you're talking about, like, when players were juicing, right? If they're using PEDs, yeah, they're probably hitting more home runs, but you're losing the integrity of the game because not everybody is going to be using a PED.
For me, being a baseball fan, as much as I love pitchers, I love pitchers.
Yeah.
But to me, the perfect game, I wouldn't want to sit through a 1-0 game. I just wouldn't. That just seems to me. In fact, I've done it before, and it's just boring.
It is boring.
It's just boring.
Baseball.
I also don't want to see like what we saw at with Pineview and Hurricane last night, a 16-12 game. I don't want to see a softball game either. Although that game I went to in Los Angeles last year was 2 years ago, 22-1. That was probably the most fun game I've ever been at. But I digress. My sweet spot is kind of where the Dodgers and the Mets played today. I wish the fortunes were reversed.
Yeah.
But a 5-3, 6-4, to me, that's the sweet spot of a baseball game.
Sure.
I want to see some runs. I want to see some stolen bases, but I also want to see some strikeouts. I want to see some good pitching. I think that 5-3, 5-4, 6-4 is the sweet spot that I like to be in as a baseball fan.
So I'm looking at some of the games today. Now, there's a lot of games that have already wrapped up. They're done. They're final. Everything's over. Games you'd want to see, Mets-Dodgers. Yeah, Mets-Dodgers was 5-3. Games you don't want to see, Pirates-Rockies, 14-3. Little lopsided. It gets a little boring in that second half of that game. Another game you don't want to see, close one, but still boring, Padres-Braves, 1-0.
Yeah. See that? Yeah.
You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see Ronald Acuna Jr. and Fernando Tatis back in the he's back in the lineup. I don't want to see them go 0-4. I want to see them go 1-3, 2-4. Acuna Jr. with a stolen base. Stuff like that is what I like to see. Again, that's where you're going to get the 6-4s, 5-3 baseball games. And again, for me as a baseball fan, that to me is the sweet spot.
By the way, that one run happened in the 4th inning.
So there was a lot of nothing before and a lot of nothing after.
So it was right in the middle of the game. It was all right, finally on the board, and then you just kind of sit around and wait. Now, I got to say, as a fan of baseball, I've been to in my life four Major League Baseball games.
Right.
Total in my life. All four have been really pretty well paced, close games. They've been fun. If I was to go to a game and it was 1-0, and I only go to a game once every couple of years, I'm like, man, I want a refund.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
No
Like,
question
a
about it.
fest.
Well, and especially with the pace of play now. Does it tell you there how long that game was? I'll bet it was sub 2 hours.
I don't have that information in front of me.
So that was the Padres-Braves game today, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can't put
See if
in
you can figure it
a
out.
couple of keywords.
Yeah, I'm sure you could figure it out. Because again, if it's a low scoring game, I bet it went fairly quick. You'd think it would, right?
Yeah, I would totally think so. Let me see here. Yeah, keep talking. Kevin.
I was just waiting to see if you could figure out how long it was.
See if we can
But,
come up with it.
Yeah. While we're at it, though, I'm going to go over some of the other scores from today's finals for baseball. The Rays are still moving on. They're playing well. 8-0 over the Reds in a win. The Giants beat the Marlins 5-2. Guardians over the Tigers 3-2. Cardinals destroyed the Diamondbacks. Finally taking down the top dog in the NL West, huh?
Right.
And the bottom of the totem pole with the Cardinals, they have not been playing well, but there you go, 14-5. Rangers continue to improve. They're playing really good baseball. The Rangers 12-3 over the Royals. Phillies get the win 5-2. They're trying to battle back in their standings over there as well. The Mets get the win over the Dodgers, like we mentioned, 5-3. Pirates over the Rockies 14-3. The Cubs, big win over the A's, 12-2. Brewers, Marlins, 5-3. Then, as before mentioned, Padres, Braves, 1-0. Two games have just gotten underway. You have the Orioles and the Nationals. That game is now in the bottom of the first, but scoreless. And right now, top of the first between Angels and Yankees. And then coming up here as well, just kicking off now, will be the Twins and the Red Sox. And in an hour, Blue Jays, Astros. So baseball's getting together a little early today. No late games.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find the game time on that, but I did see that Ronald Acuna Jr. did have a stolen base. And, I like to watch stolen bases, but still 1-0 just doesn't do it for me. The Braves, they fall to 14-4. They're starting off really well. And the Padres, they get back to 8-11. Some of the teams that we kind of thought were going to be the strong teams, and they still probably will be, getting off to a little slow start. The Padres, the Dodgers, but two of those NL West teams.
Well, even Houston
getting off to a slow start. But yeah, and again, I don't think they're going to end up where they are in the division rankings right now or in the conference rankings.
Yeah.
I think that, the good teams will go get to the top, but yeah, a little bit of a slow start for some of the stronger teams or the projected stronger teams.
Right. Now, so Fernando Tatis, he's going to be back tomorrow. From what I've seen, he still hasn't come back. So he will be in a Padres uniform tomorrow. Do you know how long it's been since Fernando Tatis Jr. has been with the Padres?
No.
565 days.
No, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like it should be that long, but it has been that long. So he's going to be there for their series against the Diamondbacks. Now, he had an 80-game PED drug, the suspension. He has not played in a game since the final day of 2021 season.
Oh, my gosh.
So he did not play at all last year because last year he didn't play as, what was it, partial injury, partial.
Yes, yeah, a little bit of both.
Partial suspension. Yep. And by the time he was able to come back around, they were already like, you're suspended.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're healthy, then your suspension starts. So
yes.
they're like, he's healthy now. And they're like, all right, now suspension starts. And that rolled over into this year. And so, so he's going to be back at it. Now, this is kind of the timeline of events. So in December of 2021, he injured his left wrist in a motorcycle accident, which, again, I get it's the off season and it's just a motorcycle, right? A lot of people ride motorcycles and don't get injured. But talk about the worst time to be getting injured is the off season when you're a few months away from going into spring ball. So March of 2022, he has a surgery to repair his broken left wrist. In September of 2022, he has surgery again for his shoulder. And then in October of last year, he has surgery again to help with that already broken left wrist to help stabilize it a little bit more.
Wow.
So lots of surgeries for Fernando Tatis in the last year.
It doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
No, I know you're over there being like, I don't care.
Hey, by the way, one of our great listeners texted in to me that the game time on that Braves-Padres games was 2 hours and 13 minutes.
That's
Comes
pretty
from
quick.
a very reliable source, huge Braves fan. So he was probably tuned in for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of thought it might be even sub 1-0. I kind of thought it might be sub
might
2
be
hours.
sub 2.
And there
Pretty close.
have been a couple of those this year, hour and 57-minute games. So, with this new pitch clock and speeding up the pace of the game, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I love that these millionaires are having to adjust a little bit. Again, I like to consider myself a little old school, but I'm liking some of these new pace of play rules that they have going on.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot more stolen bases.
And they're struggling a little bit. I mean, the pitchers, both pitchers and hitters, are kind of struggling. We've seen violations on both ends.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. Think about just the last, 3 or 4 or 5 years in baseball, all of the changes that they've made. Now, just this year, they've put in the pitch clock. They have done to try to allow more stealing of bases where you can only go pick off a runner twice. Third time has to be successful. You have that. You have the larger bases. They brought in the rule with the foreign substance for pitchers where they're getting checked every single inning. You also have a new baseball. They brought in a new ball, and that caused some controversy.
Yep.
And all of that has just happened in the last few years. So baseball is trying really hard and pushing really hard to make sure that it's fun for fans. Fans are enjoying it. The players are all at an even playing field as well. You're not using, again, with Tatis, right? They're checking for PEDs. They're checking for foreign substances on pitchers' fingers. They're doing everything to try to make the game fun for fans, but they're also trying to uphold everything that the game is already built.
And one thing that I like that the umpires are doing is they are enforcing these new rules as well. Machado the other day when he got called strike 3 on because he wasn't back into the box and alert. That's a key word, alert to the pitcher. He tried to put his hand up at the last second to call timeout because they do get a couple of those, but the umpire would have nothing of it because he was just trying to find the loophole to where he could just take his time a little bit longer. I like the fact that the umpires are enforcing these rules.
Yeah.
And they're not letting certain players get away with it. When you talk NBA basketball, there's always been the controversy of star players getting star treatment, like traveling, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, you name any star. And it seemed like there was always the conspiracy theory of, well, they let them do it because they're the big names. They're not doing that in baseball. They're really calling everybody and holding everybody accountable to these new rule changes. And I do like that with the umpires.
Yeah, I like that as well. I feel like baseball's progressing in all the right ways.
I kind of like it. I like it. Again,
it too.
I'm an old school kind of guy, but I do kind of like it. Like, do away with interleague play.
Yeah.
I would love for that to come back. Do away with interleague play. That way, when they meet in the World Series, it's the first time ever that season.
That's right. Okay, I don't agree with that. But, hey, let's take a break. Coming back, I actually have one more baseball thing.
Okay.
Then we're going to get into NBA playoffs.
Yes.
Oakland is just being Oakland.
I love it.
So, yeah, that's next coming up here on From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Back at it here in the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's From the Bleachers, Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
So, Mark, nature is healing in Oakland.
What's that?
Yeah, nature, it's doing its thing in Oakland.
In Oakland.
Yeah. In fact, it is healing so much so that they've decided nature has moved into the Coliseum. Or whatever they call it.
Now, who is nature? Is this Mother Nature? What are you talking about?
Kind of. The Mets were there the other day for a game, right?
All right, they're on their West Coast swing.
And their broadcast team had to move to a different suite than they normally are in to broadcast their game.
Yeah.
Because a possum decided that it wanted to move in and set up camp.
So seriously, they don't have anybody on the Oakland Coliseum facility on the staff that can shoo away a possum?
I guess not. Maybe they're worried about rabies. I don't know. But I heard possums don't carry rabies or something.
Maybe they're animal rights people, and
maybe.
So they don't want to disturb.
Maybe they're just like, well, the possum lives here now. It's its home. Let's put a sign on the door.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I really don't know. But they moved out of the visiting television booth. Now, I don't know if this was even like mid-game. I don't know like at what point this happened, they realized that, hey, maybe we're not alone in this room.
That's interesting.
But they had to move out. So I would assume they've probably gotten it taken care of since then, but maybe not.
Wow.
So now that does bring up a point, and I want to get to some NBA stuff here in a little bit, but with Salt Lake announcing that they really want to bring a team to Salt Lake,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
There's a lot of fans and even media now are hopping on the train of, well, why don't they just bring the A's to Salt Lake? Now,
Oh, really?
Now, I know obviously A's to Las Vegas is kind of the talks that has been going on, but there is not a place in Las Vegas where they've been like, this is the spot we will build it. Salt Lake has that now.
Right.
Salt Lake has that.
Yeah,
They're like, this is where we'll build it. We're ready to go.
Yeah, they're ahead of Las Vegas.
They are now.
In that case.
Yeah.
So, and I would imagine the Salt Lake greater area is bigger than the Las Vegas metro.
It's roughly the same.
Is it
Las
about the
Vegas
same?
is actually a little bigger.
Like
but
if you went, Las Vegas is
just
really
barely.
Like if you went from let's just say Springville to north of Ogden,
like Brigham City.
Yeah.
It's very close,
Is it
but
really?
it's a few 100,000 bigger for Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Las Vegas has grown so
Yeah,
much,
it's
though,
true.
is the thing.
It's true.
But and the other thing too with Las Vegas is you are getting a lot of out-of-town visitors in
Yes.
Vegas that you don't always get in Salt Lake.
I think you'd get the more consistent home team
the home
in
team
Salt
crowd in
Lake
Salt Lake would be there.
would be better. Yes.
Yeah. In Vegas, you're probably going to get a lot of people traveling to watch their team.
Which is what the Raiders are seeing. And they don't care. Well, they do care, but they're getting those tickets sold, those seats sold.
Yeah, but
so it doesn't really matter. But we've been to games where it was 60-40. I mean, Raiders and 40% the other team. I remember when we went to the Miami Dolphin game, there were a lot of Dolphins fans. And again, I would say it was probably about 60-40, where in your home stadium or your home court,
Right.
your home field, you probably want that more 80-20, maybe even 90-10. You don't want that 60-40.
Yeah.
But the
and
tickets are being sold though.
And it's definitely that way for like Chargers Raiders games for sure. But yeah, in Vegas, I don't know if the A's are not playing well. Vegas could very well see a swing if the A's were in Vegas. Obviously, they could see that swing of it being, 50% or maybe even 40% home fans.
That would be a little bit. That gives them reason to pause,
especially when you're playing against the Angels or the Dodgers or a team that the Cubs who have fans all over, the Yankees that have fans all over. Some of those teams, you might find yourselves in a situation where the visiting fans outweigh you.
Where at least in Las Vegas with the Aviators, they are competitive.
Yeah.
Like at least it's a competitive. They're in a competitive AAA baseball league, and you're not going to go to the park every day pretty much knowing that your team's going to lose. The Aviators are a good team, different than if the A's were to go to Salt Lake or Las Vegas. They're really not.
They're still a bad team.
They're a bad team in MLB.
And
so,
for someone who wants to bring an MLB team to Utah, I don't want to bring the A's to Utah.
I don't think I would either.
I'd
rather
support
start from
them
scratch.
I'd support them if they come, but you're bringing over a team that is not a winning team. Now, if you don't know what your team's going to be, then that's at least something, right? I don't know.
I wonder how teams do. Let's just take Las Vegas, for example. We can take Las Vegas or Salt Lake, really.
Sure.
Because they both have AAA affiliates in their towns. You got the Bees up north, and you got the Aviators down south.
Yep.
I'd like to find a city that has both an MLB team and a AAA team, and see how those. Wonder how they work together. I wonder would the MLB team hurt the attendance at the AAA team, or vice versa? Like if the Aviators are competitive and the A's move to Vegas and they're not, does it help the AAA affiliate? And that would be weird too, because they're the Aviators are the AAA affiliate to the A's.
Yeah.
So if the A's were to move to Salt Lake, then you got the B's across town, and they're the AAA affiliate to the Angels. I don't know. I don't know of a town that has both, and I'd like to know how they coexist and how they do.
And I know that does happen in some bigger markets. Like I know Boston, they have their MLB team, obviously with the Red Sox, and they do have their minor league team.
Oh, they do?
Right close. I know there's a few other towns that are like that, a few other cities. I know that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head where their AAA team is also in the same city.
Yeah.
But Boston's huge.
Right.
Boston's just so much bigger that...
Well, the East Coast is just different because it's so
Yeah.
much closer together. I mean, you count Boston, but New York is only, from what I understand, only like an hour drive.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. So it's a little different because it's way more condensed
East Coast
over
is so
there.
much more condensed.
Yeah, and the same with like the Phillies, for example. The Phillies are another one of those teams that their AAA team is not that far from Philly.
Right.
But again, it's Philly.
It'd be interesting to see how they coexist and if one would help the other or if they would pull from each other and split that. I don't know. It's, again, something I'm just not familiar with, and it would be interesting to see how that would play out, whether it's Salt Lake or Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see both teams or both cities get teams. I really would. I think that they both could support teams. And now I'm curious who's going to get the team first because Salt Lake's making a mad push for it.
Yeah.
And Vegas has been making a push for the last 5 years or so, I'd say. Yeah, we'll give them 5 or 6 years since about 2017. Once the Golden Knights got in and they were established, then everyone was like, now bring on baseball.
Yeah.
Raiders beat them to the punch. They got there first. But I think everyone's ready in Vegas for a team. I think Salt Lake is now, at that point, they're ready for a team. So,
well, speaking of the current team in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Aviators will be hosting Tacoma next week. So, and we're going to be giving away some tickets to some select games next week. So if you want to go down and catch the Aviators, you definitely want to stay tuned here to From the Bleachers because we will be giving away some tickets.
That's right. And should I also specify if you're watching on YouTube as well? Now, you can listen to us here on the radio. If you're watching on YouTube, you might get a little bit more out of YouTube when it comes to prize giveaways because sometimes we have a little extra that we can do over there visually. And a little bit of a prize for those people that watch us on YouTube.
I think that's what we're going to start doing.
So we're going to have some prizes that way, too, if you're watching the show as opposed to just listening to it. We love our listeners, too, so keep listening. And we'll definitely be having prizes for both sides of it all, right?
Yep.
If you're watching, you have a shot for some prizes. If you're listening, of course, you get a shot for some prizes. So lots of great ways to win prizes here with us on the Fan Sports Network. So, hey, let's hop into some basketball, switching some things up a little bit with the playoffs going on right now. How do we feel about the playoffs so far, Mark?
It's going kind of as expected, other than the eventual champion, the champion Los Angeles Lakers. They're up 1-0. That wasn't expected. They're going to be up 2-0 after tonight's game.
Is this where I turn off your mic?
They're probably going to sweep the Grizz. Seriously, I mean, who on, especially if John Morant's out, do the Grizzlies get it? Let me ask you a serious question.
I'm ready for your serious question.
Do the Grizzlies get a win with an injured Ja Morant?
They can, absolutely.
Well, of course they can.
You got to remember, this is a team that G League Jazz team.
The Bloomington Hills 6th Ward basketball team can get a win. That doesn't mean they're gonna against the Memphis Grizzlies.
No, I'm talking about against the Lakers. I think a class full of schoolgirls can probably go out and beat the Lakers
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't disrespect those schoolgirls like that.
How dare you talk about
by having them
eventual NBA champions this year?
Oh man,
God, I can't wait till they win it all.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
That's going to be the great. You're going to call. You're going to call in sick the next day, aren't you?
Absolutely. If that happens, yeah, I'm not showing my face around here.
Oh my God, that'd be a great show.
No man, what are you going to do when they don't win?
Just live.
You're just like, it's the life of a Lakers fan. We have unrealistic expectations, and when those expectations are not met, we move on to next year, and we blame everybody but ourselves.
We win championships. Don't think that we win championships.
You have won championships.
We do win championships.
Don't say we do. You say you have won championships.
Well, we have won championships.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And we'll continue to win championships.
In a couple decades from now, I'm
Ouch,
sure.
A couple decades.
It's not going to happen this year.
Well, we're getting brawny. No, I don't know.
You don't know that.
I don't know that.
And he has to go play year college.
We're going to get Wembanyama.
Well, that's also not happening.
I know.
Oh, man.
We'll get him after his rookie contract.
I will say this. If the Grizzlies win tonight and it evens things out, even playing field, I'm still going to go Grizzlies. If the Lakers win, and is that game tonight?
It is tonight. Yep.
Okay, I read that right. That game's actually tipping off now-ish, soon. Anyways, if the Lakers do win tonight, then being up 2-0 on the Grizz, that and you go to LA after this, yeah, I probably do give that series to the Lakers if they win tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but then they go to the next series. Realistically, they're playing. Oh, I don't know who they play in the next round. Who would they play in the next round?
Would it be the Warriors Kings?
Yeah, but I want to know who, I think it's the Kings. Again, the Kings are up.
I got it.
And
right
the Kings will beat them.
Yeah, it will be. It'd be the Kings and Warriors.
Yeah, and I do think the Kings are coming out of that series. I had to think about it, but the Kings are coming out of that series.
Against the Warriors?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I do too. I agree with that.
And the Kings walk through the Lakers.
No, they don't, dude. No, you don't understand the history of these two teams. There's a mental blockage.
It doesn't matter
when it comes
history.
to Of course it does.
No, it doesn't. It comes to the here and now.
No, there's a mental blockage with Sacramento versus Los Angeles.
Those players they did not grow up as Lakers or Sacramento fans.
Matter.
It's not how that works.
The press will put it out there. It will be implanted into their brains.
Nah.
It happens. I promise you that happens.
You can say so, but it's not going to happen.
When somebody tells you over and over again how many times that the Kings have lost to the Lakers, Sacramento has lost to Los Angeles this year, that year. When you continue to hear that, it gets implanted into your head, and ultimately you fall to your demise.
I guess we can wait and see.
And Robert Horry can talk to you about that when he put the nail in the coffin several times against the Sacramento Kings. Ask Chris Webber what he thinks about the Los Angeles Lakers.
Mike Bibby.
And Mike Bibby. Dude, good one. I like Mike Bibby.
Peja Stojakovic.
Yeah. Dude, those were some good
That's
matchups.
a good team.
Back in the early 2000s when it was the Lakers, Shaq, and Kobe versus those Kings teams, those were fun matchups. I was living in Sacramento at the time.
That was a good Kings team.
I was living in Sacramento at the time, and I would actually call into the sports station that I listened to, the talk radio, because I had like an hour plus commute while I was living in northern Sacramento Valley.
Yeah.
And it was a fun time because both teams were really good. I would call into the station and always put my 2 cents worth in, and they would laugh at me a little bit, and we'd have a little fun, but because they knew I was a Laker fan living in Sacramento territory. It was fun, dude.
So you go in and razz them like you do to me.
Absolutely, I did.
You should be like, the Lakers are winning the championship. It's like, dude, they're not even in the playoffs this year. They're winning it all. It's like, okay.
Oh, man.
Sometimes that's how it feels.
Hey, what do you think about that Clippers-Suns matchup, though?
I love that
tied
matchup.
1-1.
That's a fun matchup. I still think Suns come out of this one.
Yeah.
Even after the Clippers got them in the first game, I still feel like the Suns win that series.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a more well-rounded team, in my opinion. I think the Clippers are close. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the 4-5 matchup. Of course they're close. But since taking on Kevin Durant, he's now healthy. It's just a different team with him being healthy. But here's the problem. They're just not gelling right now, though. The Suns. They won, but I just feel like they're not quite gelling as a team. If they can win a championship. But
I'm telling you what,
they have to learn to work together.
There's just something about KD that it doesn't surprise me that they're not gelling together. And I know that he's been kind of touted as a plug-and-play type of player. He can play in any system. He can play with any player. Well, that's not true because he couldn't play with James Harden, couldn't play with Kyrie. There's teams, there's players that he hasn't been able to play with. So, everybody touts him as a plug-and-play type of player. This doesn't surprise me at all with the Suns kind of not being on the same page. Man, when you look at that team on paper, you're like, oh, my gosh, just put them into the finals right now. Because on paper, they are legit.
Yeah.
They are legit. But there's chemistry. Like you said, there's chemistry issues there right now. And that doesn't surprise me at all with KD. It just doesn't.
You're right.
He's a great talent, but he has changed that chemistry a little bit. And you're seeing it in the high-profile games in the playoffs.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I'm not dissing KD. Well, I kind of am. He's a great talent, one of the greatest players we've ever seen. But my thoughts on KD, on how he just jumps ship when things aren't going great. He's one of those players that the grass is always greener. So we'll see how long he lasts in Phoenix. But let's talk about the Kings and Warriors. Let's back up just for a second. Draymond Green gets a 1-game suspension,
right,
due to the incident the other night with Sabonis. What are your thoughts on that, Caden?
I think we all saw it coming. I knew it was going to happen. Watching it back, it's like, yeah, of course, you can't do that. Now, as much as I've been defending Sabonis, he probably shouldn't have been grabbing at his leg anyways. Here's the thing. He can get away with that. You can get away if you're the one initializing the contact, right? Draymond took it way too far to the next level, and that's the problem I have an issue with. If you're going to get in a scuffle, get in a scuffle. That's why I don't care that Sabonis even remotely grabbed his leg a little bit. Fine. I don't care because that happens. It's playoff basketball. What I don't like is then Draymond gets too dramatic with it all, stomps on the guy twice.
I'd stomp on him too.
But again, it's just, if you gave him a little bit of a nudge in the ribs, whatever. He jumped off the guy. He used it as his launching platform.
He had to plant his foot.
No, he didn't. Not on his stomach. And twice. He got him in the rib cage, and then he did it again off of his stomach.
Well, Sabonis was on the ground. Where's he supposed to put his foot?
On the ground next to him.
I don't think he could if you watch that highlight.
You're doing a bit right now, I can tell. But it's still and that's the thing is it's frustrating to watch that back and be like, dude, of course you're going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah, he is.
And even Sabonis, like you could have gotten Sabonis with a T right there. You're not going to kick him out of the next game, but and suspend him.
In the playoffs. So we're in the playoffs and
Pittsburgh.
So with him being suspended, speaking of Draymond Green, should they change the policy a little bit, change the procedure? Because when you're taking out one of the star players of a playoff team, that's huge.
Yeah.
Especially when you're down 2-0. But he's going to be suspended for Game 3. He's one of the major contributors to the Warriors. Who gets hurt worse more than the fans? Does anybody get hurt worse more than the fans? Golden State fans. I mean, they're the ones that are really taking it on the chin.
They are, especially because this is a home game for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that does.
Should they just fine them more? I mean, would this what would get through to a player like a Draymond Green? What would get through to him more so than a suspension?
Well, suspension is still money.
It is
because he's not getting paid for that game.
I get that.
Granted, it's the playoffs, so it's not a contracted game because it I don't know how that works exactly.
But
playoffs you do get paid for, but
a lot of these players, well, a lot of pro sports players, athletes, money talks. Even though they sit there behind the microphone and say it's not about the money. Well, when they say that, it is about the money. There's ego involved when it comes to money and athletes. But what if they were to fine him more, not suspend him, but put a hefty fine on him? Would that change the thought process a little bit? Maybe put a little more, if I stomp on his chest, I'm going to get fined. And I'm not talking $100,000. That's chump change. I'm talking serious money.
Because, normally a fine is like $20,000.
Yeah, see, that's nothing to them.
So 100 would
really
maybe be more, but,
that's true. I mean, really, How much did you say? 20,000?
20,000.
That is chump change to them.
Now it depends on the player. Some players are happy to be making $1 million a year. Granted, that's the low end. Like that's your bottom of the barrel. Players are making $1 million or close to it, right? So, you have an average player making, we'll say, $7 million a year.
Yeah.
You're decent. A decent starter might be making $14 million a year or something like that, in that ballpark, right? If you're making that much a year and you lose $100,000, that's like someone saying, Mark, you have to pay $100.
Exactly.
And you'd be like,
I don't want to,
and
but I will.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Here you go. There's your 100. Yeah. So I don't know. But it's the playoffs.
Playoffs?
In this situation, is it more impactful for him not to play a game than get fined? Because now what happens if they go out and they lose this game and he comes back into it and it's just like, we're down one game because I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
And not necessarily because he didn't, but it could be. Could be the reason.
Interesting.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up next, what's the status of Giannis? Is he going to play? He's went out with that injury. Is he going to be around for the game? Guess we'll find out coming up next.
My back's hurt.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Wrapping up the show here on the Fan Sports Network. It's From the Bleachers, Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice, it's already wrapping up our 2 hours.
Already wrapping up the 2 hours, and we have some tickets to give away.
Wow, we do.
So we got to be doing that here in just a little bit if you haven't already. This is your last chance. I'm giving you guys like a minute to text the word copper if you guys want to win a chance, or at least have a chance to win. a couple of passes to go out to Copper Rock for the LPGA Epson Tour.
Yep, we've got one VIP pass to give away. It's worth about $275. Plus, we do have some general admission tickets as well that'll get you in for a single day. And you can pick whatever day.
Yep, that's right.
So that would be the great thing about that. And the weather's going to be great out there. There's going to be food trucks, lady golfers throughout the course, obviously. They're all trying to get into the top 10 money for the Epson Tour season. The top 10 make the cut to the LPGA Tour, which is where they all want to be, with Nelly Korda and Jessica Korda. Just a lot of great,
great golfers.
Brooke Henderson. A lot of great golfers. A lot of great golfers.
So, again, text the word copper into the text line, 435-990-9950. Text in right now. While you guys are texting that in, we'll choose some winners here in just a little bit. But to answer the question that we left everyone hanging with, Giannis is out.
Yikes.
In Game 2 against the Heat. So, no Giannis in that game going on tonight. That game is at 7 o'clock. And then Timberwolves Nuggets is the other game going on tonight.
The scary part about that with the Bucks is they're down one game already to the Heat.
Yeah, this could be make or break right now for the Bucks.
There's a very good possibility that the Heat could go up 2 games to none.
Absolutely.
Without their star player.
Absolutely. Tough position to be in, for sure. So, yeah, and then as I mentioned, too, Timberwolves Nuggets going on tonight as well. Denver leads out 1-0, and I assume they'll make it 2-0. So, yeah, so not too bad. And then again, Lakers, Grizzlies happening as we speak. Let's see, Grizzlies up 14-9. I take that. That's good.
It's early.
Halfway through the first quarter. So,
hey, so I ran across this on Instagram. I thought it was it's always kind of a great thing to talk about. Kind of compelling is the word I was looking for. It's very compelling to talk about.
Okay.
We always have the arguments of who is the GOAT.
It's true.
And there's a local business owner here in town that thinks Tim Duncan is the GOAT.
And we had him on the show, and he talked about it.
Oh, Tony. Anyways, well, there was a poll done over 100 current NBA players. All right?
Okay.
And they voted on who they thought was the GOAT. Now, these are the guys in the business. These are the guys in the NBA.
All right.
They know more than me, they know more than you, and they know more than Tony. Okay?
Sure.
But Michael Jordan was voted the GOAT by 58% of the current NBA players, followed by LeBron James at 33%. All right, so he came in a solid second. Kobe Bryant came in third at 8.8. Bill Russell was tied for fourth with 1%. Now, this other tied for fourth kind of surprised me a little bit. Tracy McGrady.
I'm a big T-Mac fan. I used to love T-Mac back in the day when he played for Houston, him and Yao Ming.
But is he a top 5 greatest of all time players?
I don't know.
Top 5. Now let's think about who we're omitting from the top 5. Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And he should he should be pretty high up on that list.
I think so too.
I mean, I think he's potentially even a top 3.
I agree.
Honestly.
You've also got, and again, arguably in this area, 4, 5, 6, you've got Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Right in that 4, 5, 6, 7 area. There's the argument really comes into play right there. But I was just thinking about that. When I saw that, I was like, Tracy McGrady. I don't know if I would put him that high. And I just wasn't sure if he is, in your opinion, a top 5 player, greatest of all time.
No, he's not. He's really not. I'm sorry. And I love T-Mac. He's not.
I know. And I knew that. I knew you were a T-Mac guy.
Yeah.
So,
but he's not top 5. So
who else? Karl Malone?
No.
No. Second leading scorer of all time. Actually, no. Yeah, second leading scorer of all time.
My top 5 in no particular order. You mentioned Kareem. He's in the top 5. LeBron and Michael Jordan are obviously in the top 5. And then, yeah, I'd probably say. Then you go into kind of like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. There's that group that I'm
Julius
like,
Erving,
who comes in?
Dr.
Yeah, who
J.
comes in the next round? Hey, we got to go. I got my 2 winners.
Oh, yeah. Who are they?
All right. So we have VIP. We're going to go with a guy named Brian.
All right, Brian.
And for the next one, for the general admission, we have Jared.
Okay, Jared.
Brian and Jared.
Jared, you'll get 2. Brian, you get 1, but you get the big one.
That's right. All right. Have a good one. We'll see you.